All right, so now we're getting ready to head up towards the Panhandle. We're down here in Central Florida. What is it? 43 degrees and misting outside. And where we're going to is what? Maybe 30 degrees, and the roads are closed. So we're really hoping by the time we get up there, it's going to be better. So keep our fingers crossed.
So I know some of you are like, why does she have so many clothes on? But listen, I live here in Florida. I'm a true Southerner, grew up in the South where they are getting lots of snow right now, which I'm really jealous, but we don't do cold. So I have lots of clothes. I have lots of jackets. I have my raincoats, which is fun that I get to wear all of the things. But if you see me in far too many clothes, don't make fun, because we don't know what to do with the cold here. We're used to it. Now for the fun part of hooking up. Today we get to do the pleasure in the misty rain. I usually am the one that backs up into the spot, and he yells at me, and that's when we fuss and fight. Does anyone else's husband like to put things where they don't go? Especially when it's raining and you can't find the doodads that connect onto the hitch, and they weren't stored where they're supposed to go. So we also want to mention that we did say we are headed up to the Panhandle from Central Florida. It takes 3.5 to 4 hours to get to Tallahassee from where we live, only because of traffic. If we weren't hauling anything, it should be 3 hours, but there's always traffic on 75. But we just want you to know that we are carefully monitoring the traffic, checking the Florida 511, making sure that the roads are safe before we get there. So we will detour, we will stop, we will not be doing anything dangerous. We're not going to drive our camper on icy road conditions and put ourselves at risk, or other people. So we are headed that way, but we are being safe. Are you done yet? So these are some of the fun little things that we do before we leave out on a road trip. Making sure that your tires are inflated properly. No one wants a blowout. We got this handy dandy little electric tire gauge. Makes things easy and quick. Well, I don't know about quick, but makes things easy. It is late January, and we are headed up to Topsail Hill Preserve State Park, which is in Santa Rosa Beach, Florida, which is right off 30A. So it is nearly impossible, I guess not impossible, but very difficult to get a camping site here at Topsail, especially with it being on 30A. It's a very popular part of the Panhandle, beautiful white sand beaches, and of course, when we finally snuck in and we got a spot, it snowed. There was like snowmageddon happened. Once in a century. It hasn't snowed that much in that area since the 1800s, and even then it was only 3 inches. So anyway, we are en route that way right now, as long as we can get there safely. And so come along with us as we visit another Florida State Park. So guys, we are still trucking. We made it all the way to Tallahassee, and I-10 is still closed. So I-10 is actually closed from Tallahassee west all the way to the Alabama-Florida line. So we are now on Highway 20, making our way northwest. So check out this snow everywhere. And we finally made it right before sunset. Let's go check in. So you're going to park up here to the right because you're going to need to get out and then go in this door right here to finish registering. So sadly, the snow's mostly started to melt, but you can still see some on the ground around the pine trees. So it took more than 7 hours and some back roads, but we are here safely in our spot. It's a little awkward getting ready to unhitch and to get set up. I will say we did notice something immediately, and this was our fault that we did not read ahead to make sure that fire is allowed or that they have fire pits, because they do not. And listen, you see that snow? There's too much snow to not be able to have a fire. Always check.
So here at Topsail Hill Preserve State Park, we're staying in Site 53. And this particular site is a little bit different from all the other state parks we've stayed in. Definitely not as private. Spacious, just not as private. It's a very beautiful state park though. So it does have full sewer, power, and water. We did have a little bit of an issue just backing it up and getting everything hooked up. Where they have their water located and power located, it didn't suit our rig very well, but we managed. We got it hooked up. So this is kind of what I was saying just a little while ago about just trying to make it work, and you know that's going to be the case in a lot of places that you go camping and set up at. You're just not going to have the room, or things aren't where they need to be as far as your rig is concerned, but we managed. It worked. Something else we learned too is about our water pressure. We've always had our water pressure set at around 40 psi, but we also had issues with the instant hot water not working properly. So come to find out, we didn't have the pressure set up high enough. So I bumped it up to around 50. Now it's working great. So always learning. So as I was mentioning a moment ago about things not lining up, things kind of being in the way, this beautiful magnolia tree was on the front side of the camper, and it's so close to the concrete pad that it keeps us from being able to open up the awning all the way. This opened up far enough, just not all the way. So backing up the other night as well, even though this is a concrete pad, it still wasn't level. We still had to use the levelers on the other side. I was kind of surprised by that a little bit. We did have family members come stay, and they actually got the site right next to us, and so it not being as private actually worked out well. Another thing about this park too is, I think Ashley might have mentioned it earlier, but there is no fire rings here. They do not allow fires on the ground. However, you can bring your own, and you can have it above ground, just not on the ground.
So the camp store is super cute. You know, I love a good store. They unfortunately were bought out by different owners, so they no longer sell alcohol. They don't have a license yet, though that may come. They said that they used to have live music out here on the porch and drinks in the evenings. So it's totally your regular camp store, though I hear they have really good coffee. They have t-shirts, they have groceries, anything you need for the beach. But the one thing we needed was a fire pit, and they have these little portable fire pits. Super cool. These bikes are brand new, so they're definitely a great deal at $30. They say they pretty much do a 24-hour rental. The first loop as you come in right behind the camp store is very open and not private at all. These are the lower numbered sites, I guess from like 1 to the 20s. There is one of the several bathhouses, which all are extremely clean and well taken care of. So we'll show you around the park just a little bit. We are in site number 53, which we told you there's some good and some bad, like they're kind of crammed in. But if you're looking to book here, sites 101 through 170, we did some running and walking through their loop, and those sites seem a little bit more spacious and private. So I would say try to get a site there.
They have shuffleboard at this state park, and it's free.
For the old people like Trent who like to play shuffleboard. Now here is one amenity you don't see at many state parks, a pool, which I would not want to get into right now. I have no idea if it is heated or not, but I bet it is freezing cold. Then around here to the left is a fishing pond. Now it is super cold out. You'll see all the snow on the boardwalks headed down to the beach. We didn't spend much time here this day, but just wait till tomorrow. We made time for an unfilmed snowball fight and making little lopsided snowmen. But what we didn't film was the tiny home and the cottage loop, which you should definitely check out if you're not into camping. Trey handles a lot of our outdoor cooking. As you can see, we actually just use our little electric griddle outside. It cooks faster and more even than our Blackstone that our trailer came with. We got to host breakfast this morning, and it was fantastic. Now for the reason people really love coming here. It's no longer 30 degrees, it's 55 in the sun. The water is beautiful. It's a little bit different color, brighter blue.
Oh, there's a dolphin.
Oh.
There's dolphins.
Oh, and there are dolphins. Sorry you can't see them. Today is a yellow flag day, meaning you can swim, but you swim at your own caution. Flags here are very important. We've talked about it before. If it's red, or especially a double red, do not get in the water. So many people drowned in the Florida Panhandle every year because of not understanding the flag system, and it does tell you. So we've told you before, 30A here in the Panhandle is an extremely popular, busy area to come to. People love it, and this campsite is great. One of the best things about it is that you get your own personal beach. It's only open to the campers. So there are miles of beaches that are just not going to be crazy packed like there would be closer to Seaside and the other areas. Now, this is the winter, so there are less campers, not many tent campers here. It would be busier than this, but definitely not what you're going to see if you were.
Now let's talk about the trails. There are 10 different trails and bike paths that you can enjoy in this state park. Follow us along while we show you just some of them.
There goes the tram now. Now this particular path, you could take the tram or a bicycle. Here's the tram stop at the end, leads to restrooms and the beach. Now if you want to bring your bike around to the left, there are plenty of bike racks. This is the end of the Campbell Lake Bike Trail. Most of it is paved until you get closer to the water, and it looks like they even have kayaks for rent. Now, of course, you want to be careful. All Florida waters have gators and snakes, so kayak at your own risk. Now we're headed towards the No Name Lake Trail. But if you look around and notice the vegetation, there's recently been a prescribed burn here, just like the prescribed burns there were in St. Andrews State Park when we were there last month.
So also here at this state park, they have a lake called No Name Lake. So we're taking this very short hiking trail down to the lake to see what it looks like. Caution, maybe alligators. Very well may be.
I can see where they get the name. It's not really the most impressive lake. Topsail Hill Preserve State Park is 1 hour, 39 miles from St. Andrews State Park down in Panama City. So
Panama City Beach.
Panama City Beach. We did a video there recently, so check that out. We'll put the link down below.
Down below.
Down below.
That's right.
They're very different parks. This park is beautiful and it's huge. There's lots of hiking, lots of trails, good for bicycling. St. Andrews State Park is a whole different thing. Every campsite almost has a water view, so it's quite different, closer to the beach there, or closer to the water at least, but all great state parks. Come check it out.
Yeah.